Hello again. Welcome to Ask Tetsu. 皆さん、Ask Tetsu へようこそ。このビデオの日本語バージョンはこちらをクリックしてください。So, today we're getting into the core of this channel, which are the kids. And I will start off with the introduction of Ronnie. Ronnie's over here. So Ronnie is my first son, and this video will be about him. Ronnie was born in 2012, so today he is now 7 years old in 2019. And he was born in Japan, as my wife is Japanese from Nagasaki, so both Ronnie and Nika were born in Nagasaki, and Akila was born in Canada. And even before Ronnie was born, we already knew that we wanted to teach our kids the 5 languages that we teach them, namely English, French, Japanese, Mandarin, and Spanish. And at the beginning, so we were living in Japan, and I was speaking exclusively in Mandarin, and my wife in Japanese. So this technique or this principle is called OPOL, one person, one language. This is something that it's like our religion, and a lot of what we will be talking about on this channel will be based on OPOL and also about context, how we create a natural context for the kids to speak different languages, and a main component is OPOL. And so here I speak Mandarin. My father is Taiwanese, so when we live in Canada, he also speaks Mandarin to them. And my mother is also Japanese, so she would speak Japanese with the kids. So back to when Ronnie was born. So born in Japan, I was still working in Japan at that time. And my wife was at school, so she was still studying, and so she's tied down by her studies at the university in Nagasaki. So we were all living in Nagasaki, and I worked from home. I just need a computer and the phone, and I basically can work pretty much anywhere in the world. And so about 18 months, I think when Ronnie was about 18 months, we decided that while Yuko, my wife, still had a few years, about 1.5 years, 2 years left in her studies, that I would take Ronnie to Taiwan so that he could strengthen his Mandarin more. And at that time, Nika was also born right about around that time, and Nika stayed with Yuko in Nagasaki, and I brought Ronnie to Taiwan to strengthen his Mandarin. And that was also the moment when we decided we will send Ronnie actually to an American daycare, so he would have he will simultaneously be using 3 languages. That is English at school or daycare, Mandarin with me and everybody else, I guess, in Taiwan and our relatives, and also Japanese with mom when she's visiting, or when my mother, she was also in Taiwan quite often to help us out. So these 3 languages were, I guess, the beginnings of when Ronnie started to utter words and to start to pick up languages. And we were in Taiwan for about 18 months, I guess, 1.5 years, and and then Yuko was nearing the end of her studies, and we decided we would go back to Canada. And so I was living in Canada before going to Taiwan, and I mean before going to Japan to work. So for me, it's actually going back to Canada, and we brought everybody. At the time Nika was born, so the 2 kids, Yuko, myself, we all moved back to Canada, and that's the first introduction to French, because we live in Quebec. So the kids went to a daycare in French, and Ronnie was 3. That was the first time he was exposed to French, and he picked it up very quickly and started speaking French. I guess it's one of his strongest languages right now. And at that time, we also had the plan to introduce Spanish somehow. And I had known about a system called au pairs, in which it's basically live-in babysitters. So you would invite a young person, often a girl, but we've had both boys and girls, au pairs, but they would come and live with us and take care of the children. So we would always have Mexican au pairs who live with us and speak exclusively Spanish with the kids, and that's how Ronnie picked up Spanish. And so there you go. That's 5 languages that Ronnie and all my kids are exposed to, and they are being raised in these 5 languages. So other than languages, another big topic on this channel is multiple talents, so multi-talented kids. And I would introduce Ronnie, the skater, the hockey player, the snowboarder, the skier. He's also a swimmer, he's also a golfer, and as a musician he's also a drummer and a pianist. So definitely follow this channel, and we'll go in depth into how he developed each of these talents as well. So that's pretty much it for Ronnie. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you would subscribe to this channel and definitely click on that notification bell so that you can follow all the news in real time. So talk to you in the next video.